Hello. Welcome to my cake kitchen. It's Friday and normally I am Lollipop! Hello, darling. Hello. Lollipop. Tapeta, do you want to tell Lollipop how much I've been shouting out here about where she's been? Because I think we haven't seen you in 2 days. And I was like, can someone tell Lollipop we miss her? Where is she? Lollipop, where have you been, darling? We missed you. Okay? Happy Valentine's Day, right? Anyway, hello. Look at me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I'm Gladys, and over here, I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating easily. And yeah, today is Valentine's Day. If you've been here on the channel, normally the lives are on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. This is just an extra edition because we've been so busy all week. Let's call it the Valentine's Day chit chat, okay? Because in all week we've been making a bouquet. Where is the bouquet? We'll be talking about that in a moment. But we made a cupcake bouquet. Then last week we made this cake right here, which I was struggling to let go of. This one right here. I've been struggling to let go of it. But today we are going to actually cut into it, okay? So today we're not baking. We're not decorating anything. We are just going to cut a cake, talk about the difficulties of the cupcake bouquet, and yeah, seems Lollipop, did you go for an anniversary celebration, lovely? Oh, Lollipop, did you manage to do the baking? Anyway, happy anniversary. I hope you had a memorable time and yeah, something to behold and remember, right? Yeah, for the 2 days we kept going, where is Lollipop? Where is Lollipop? Great to have you back. Today, oh, still coughing. Oh, God. Having a cough on an anniversary is not a great feeling, is it? But I hope whatever you did, you had fun. That is more important. Right. So anyway, welcome back. And if you're just joining us, can you register where you're joining us from and what you are doing at this moment in time? Lollipop is telling us about her anniversary celebration that perhaps included some Netflix and chill with pizza. Okay? Look, Lollipop, it's still a good memory to behold, isn't it? So yeah, happy anniversary and great to have you back. Well, we did finish our cupcake bouquet. Look, I'm going to go and get the cupcake bouquet because you know what, I've been so busy this morning. I just thought, I don't look like the busy I've been, believe me. I've been so busy. My kitchen has been, I'm thinking about Tapeta. I've been making Ghanaian sauce. I've been making Ghanaian tomato sauce. This is just to poke you for sitting by the fire pits without me, okay? The sort of sauce that you can use for jollof rice, okay? All I need is the rice into the sauce and some corned beef. Tapeta, you're welcome. Okay, if you're just here for the first time, we have fun. We do serious baking. We talk all things baking, and we do the serious thing about baking. But some days we just put our feet up, relax, and just have a chit chat. I am literally tempted to go and bring my chair and sit down and make a cup of tea and see how much I can entertain you. But I'm just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, did you get the milk? Yeah. Tapeta, for those of you who are just joining, we're catching up about what we've been doing all week. And like I said, all week we were making, let me go get the cupcake bouquet. Tapeta, keep the group chatting and happy, okay? All of you in there, put a thumbs up. Let's know where you are joining us from, what you're doing. I don't know how to operate the what do you call it? The YouTube ad, is it, you know, the music library? Because I'm, for my vlogs and stuff, I use Epidemic Sounds. So, but I'm just wondering if I could access the YouTube thingy, music library. We will play music. I just don't want the live to be flagged for copyright. That's all. So anyway, I'll keep Tapita in here. Let me just go get the cupcake bouquet and then I'll tell you a story. Well, we did this yesterday, but Tapita, hello, Tapita will tell you how challenging. It literally, this is a cupcake bouquet we did all week. It's my first time trying a cupcake bouquet like this. It was my first time using Russian piping tips. And Tapita, do you want to tell those who are just joining us how this, after finishing it, it was not secure on the top and it fell over right on the live. It was wild. I went back to the video itself. Like when you go back to the start of the live, I was saying, because it's my first, whilst introducing the show, introducing the show, I said, well, this is going to be my first time using all of this. So we'll see the success we will achieve or whether this is going to fall down flat, right? And that is me introducing the show long before I knew that we were literally going to have the cupcakes falling flat. The whole thing fell off. It was hilarious. But you know what? It's part of the journey. I mean, like I said, I have the choice to go and make this, learn from my mistakes, get it right, and then come and tell you how to not make mistakes. But that is unrealistic for you if you are starting from the ground up. Yes, it will be great for you to understand from my perspective the mistakes to not make, but it's also a good thing for you to experiment yourself. So I thought, why not bring the fun? And boy, did we not have fun. It was a mess, okay? Forget the fact that the camera is making this look all good. Look, this whole thing is falling. It's bashed. Can you see? Well, if you can see this rose here, it's literally squished. It's gone. It's a mess. The piping tips was piping out blobs of buttercream. The buttercream wasn't like adhering properly. Like, we really did take it to a beginner-friendly style where everything was like, oh God, I don't think this is my favorite thing to do. But you know what? The video is already up on the channel. It's unedited. You get to see the raw experience of what we were doing, the fun we were having alongside the mistakes. But you see, the bottom line is that we achieved some success in that we persevered and ultimately we got here. Is it perfect by any means? No. Do we hope to improve? Very much so. What's the lesson to take up from here? Practice makes progress. Okay, practice makes progress. I have 10 years experience in baking. There are all sorts of cakes I can make. Well done. I made this cake, by the way. So here is a contrast on this Valentine's Day, right? We're supposed to be talking about love and all of that. And yes, both cakes are Valentine themed, and the idea was to make them so that you can learn something from these cakes that you can give to a loved one, especially if you're a beginner. So we were able to carve this. This is where my forte is. I love sculpted cakes that are hand carved, something artistic, something creative, and it's super beginner friendly. It has no structures in there. Never mind the bottom. This cake is made from scrap cake. So I literally took a cake that has no resemblance to this element here, and then I carved it and molded it into this form. And then I left it on a countertop. It's been sitting out since we made it. So it's been sitting out on my countertop for 10 days now. Because we made it, we completed it last Thursday. And today is Friday. Okay, so it's been, is it 8 days? It's literally, once we finished it, I just put it on my countertop and just forgot about it. And the intention was to take some photographs, which I have done. But I just thought, letting go of cake sometimes is hard for me. So I've ended up stocking up on scrap cakes that I have to find a way to dispose of, which is why I ended up making this cake, teaching you some of the beginner-friendly techniques that you can employ to get great results from your cake, right? So we did that, but the skill level compared from this to this, I will do this any day instead of that, right? The bottom line is that you win some, you lose some, okay? So if you're just joining us, thank you for your time. We are grateful to have you. What are you doing this Valentine's Day? Is it a fun day for you? What are you doing with yourself? Because, gosh, we have cakes. Happy Valentine to all of you. If you have love in your life, appreciate it. Valentine is just one day, okay? It's supposed to be the day to appreciate the love that you have in your life. I guess that's something to do. But if you do genuinely have love in your life, learn to appreciate it every day, because nothing is really guaranteed. That said, Philosopher Gladys is going to move out of the way and we go back to the subject of cakes. I'm going to go into the chat quickly to see what Tapita and Lollipop are on about over there. I know. You know what? I think one of these days, Lollipop, I think one of these days I'll think about this properly, and then maybe I'll get the, is it the YouTube music library, with some speakers in my background, because even if the music is in the library and it's playing, I don't think I'll be flagged for copyright, you know. But yeah, that would be exciting, isn't it? We're just trying to have fun. I can't dance, by the way, even though I try to. If you saw me dancing, you probably not want to talk to me. I cannot dance and I don't drink, so I can't even rely on the influence of something to keep my feet moving. Okay, I've got 2 left feet, but give me a cake any day and here I am. So for those of you who are joining us in the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. A pleasure to have you, and I hope you find some value in our video today. So Lollipop still doesn't know what cake to make on the 28th. Well, Lollipop, here's some idea. You can start with some cupcakes, don't you think? Or the only issue with, if I said go make this cake, it's just because you will have to then bake and carve it, because I don't suppose you have any scrap cake sitting anywhere. If you did, I would say go make yourself some scrap cake. But if you're joining us in the chat, where are you joining us from? Okay, stay interacting with us. Let us know where you are joining us from and give us a wave so we can know what you are doing over there. But then again, yeah, back to the subject of the cakes. We are going to try and cut this cake, and the intention is to see what it looks like and how many servings we will derive from it. I'm a bit iffy about cutting this cake because this cake is scrap cake. It had been sitting for a very, very long time before I decided to utilize it. So I am very wary about the quality of it, but nothing is going to stop me. So first of all, I'm going to take you through how to take this cake apart and how to cut into it. Oh, noodles. Noodles for you page is filled with cute couples and you're crying. Noodles, why is that? Why are you crying with the cute couples? Okay, noodles, I'm sending you hugs. Okay, except if you're noodles, I really want to make Korean noodle soup. Right, so noodles, let's see. Yeah. Tapita says she and her mom, she says, Gladys, my mom and I thought about piping and how a good way to practice would be on sugar cookies or cupcake before taking Russian tip. Yes, Tapita, remember when we did our, just answering a question, Tapita's mom suggests that they try practice on other things like cupcake and on cookies before. And back to the subject of piping. Before we did the Russian piping tips this week, the week before last week, which is 2 weeks ago, we undertook the practicing of piping tips using regular tips. And remember the entire process, Tapita, we didn't do it on a cake first. We did it on a, what do you call it? A baking sheet, as in, some days my words fail me, doesn't it? Parchment paper. We typed on parchment paper and practiced before we ended up transferring it on the cake. So yeah, so you can do that. That's tappeta. I wonder how piping on a cookie will turn out. First of all, before you start on a cookie or a cupcake, start on a parchment paper, just so that you can get your hand with the movement. Plus, with that, you can scrape it off, reuse the buttercream, and then keep going. So try with parchment paper or on the plate, and then go to cupcake and the cookie. However it will look like, you will not know until you try it. So I encourage you to try. Noodles. How is today for you, and where are you joining us from? Noodles is getting a lot of cute couples on their For You page, and Noodles is putting some crying emojis here. Don't you worry, Noodles, what's your situation? But then again, whatever your situation is, social media can kind of sometimes make you feel a little bit sad about yourself and your life, isn't it? Noodles, we're sending you a lot of love, and we hope life is better. Happy Friday, good people, if you're just joining us, okay? Right now, I tell you my guilty pleasure. I can't get that song, Not Like Us, out of my head, okay? And I know this is the part where Tapeta and Lollipop probably just leave me alone and be like, what is she talking about? Okay? That song is just sitting in my head. I don't even pretend to like rap music. I don't know what that genre is. I don't know what it is. I think the beat and the rhythm just sound so cool in my head. And that is about how much I know about rap music. But I just cannot get that song out of my head. Okay? Oh, okay. So Tapeta and Lollipop, you join it. Well, unless you are the opposite guy the song is targeted at. If you're a fan of that guy, you probably don't want to join in over here when we are like Not Like Us. But it's a good song though. Yeah, music is always playing in my head. A few yeah, you know what, Lollipop, check out that song Not Like Us. I promise you, you're probably not going to hear anything. I don't hear what they're saying on the song. I just hear the beat going. And normally it's in my bathroom when I have a brush to my hair, a very little. Gladys, let's go make a cake, okay? Let's go cut the cake. Who sings? It's a it's an artist called Kendrick Lamar, okay? Kendrick. So yeah, you know what? Tapeta and Lollipop. No, it's it's a very particular song, and it's by Kendrick Lamar, and it says Not Like Us. So if you check on Google or YouTube and you enter Not Like Us, I'm sure that song will come up. And it was the performance of the Super Bowl, I think. I don't know anything about the Super Bowl. Let me just leave that alone and let's go and cut a cake, right? Before we cut the cake, I always tell my customers we need to put a knife in hot water. So I'm going to boil some water and I will put a knife in the water and then we'll cut the cake up, okay? Oh, okay, Lollipop. Lollipop, come and give us your honest assessment. Like I told you, I don't know the song and what they're saying in it. I just like the beat, okay? The beat is so good. Oh, God. Now, let's talk about... Okay, Lollipop, You got it. I told you the beat is a vibe. Whatever is being said in that song, I don't know. Okay? Oh, Lollipop. Lollipop just checked into the pop culture wars out here. Okay? Yep, it is. It is that guy. Did you know about it already, Lollipop? We're talking about, you know what? We're a cake making channel, but some days we just come in and we chit and chat and we catch up on things that mean something to us. Lollipop is leading the way over here, and there is Tapeta in there. So happy Friday. Thank you for joining us today. I'm streaming from my UK based home kitchen. I am a baker. I love baking, and this cake was hand carved by me. And there we are, another one. We made cupcake bouquet. I'll tell you, this was much easier to do than this right here, even though this seems like it's a very simplistic cake to make. So okay, noodles. Noodles, don't put me in a position to choose, because clearly you know what, I may be, let me just say this, right? I know nothing about rap. I'm an immigrant. I know nothing about rap. But when it comes to music, I lead with, if the beat is good, I don't care what you say. Which isn't a good thing, okay? It is not a good thing. You will normally find me on my playlist. You will normally find gospel music, worship, or something related. So that is my go-to type of music. But if I'm looking for a distraction, anything literally goes. I have loved One Direction to, like, what is his name, Pusha T, some, you know, some really like gruel music over there. But I can't say I'm a connoisseur or I know anything specifically about music. No, I just, if a sound sounds so good and I need something to keep my head motivated and something to just keep me busy, yes, just give me a good beat and a nice rhythm and I'm in. Okay, I'm sold. Let's just push the whole thing down the drain. That's it. So don't make me choose, because you know what? If Drake had showed up with the same Not Like Us and it sounded great, I'll be out here dancing to that music. So I can't even pretend that I like one or another. But I think Drake is always he's always picking fights and losing horribly. Not that I know anything. I'm just like, the whole thing is funny. Lollipop, you're my kind of Lollipop, I would like to go on a night out with you. Your choice of music is right up my street. Oh, okay. Right. You know what? I don't know anybody, unless somebody who just doesn't adventure into different genres of music. But I don't know anybody who doesn't like 1 or 2 pack songs. Even if you don't like the genre, I think as an artist, I don't know anybody who says, oh, I don't like 2 pack and his music. Not even if you don't like the entire thing, that he's like his whole album or stuff like that. Maybe there's 1 or 2 things you may like. So I think for that, as an artist, he is quite influential like that. I think the selection I have liked is like, oh, it's a lot. Like, it sounds so deep, but it's very simple. When the song sounds good, I'm here for it. I like Hit 'Em Up. Like, when I'm listening to Hit 'Em Up, I'm like, ooh, that's an angry man on a beat. That is so good. But that's where it stops. I roll over back to One Direction and what? And it goes up and with the song ever. Like, how do you go from this to that? But that's me. I am so disloyal. And then when I'm done, I come back to Gyra. Okay. Yeah. The thing with rap is that when you have kids, it can be hard to kind of play that. Look, I say that, but I don't remember the last time I cued into a music and I was listening to rap. I can't remember. It's fun to remind myself, but I think the reason why Not Like Us sounds like it's fun in the moment is because it's very current and it's in the news, and the Super Bowl just happened. It's everywhere, like literally everywhere. If you've searched one subject based on whether they're breaking down the symbolism and the artistry of the Super Bowl performance and what that looks, even if you click on one video that is telling you that, you end up getting an influx of so many things. So I think Not Like Us seems very current and very, very present in the now, because obviously is it algorithm? I can't say that word. Okay, whatever it's called, it picks up and then it's gone everywhere, and the performance is kind of very deep and it's really talked about. So yeah, that's my little knowledge about what is present. And on that note, let's just go and say, dear God, you are enough. Okay, that's all. Oh God, this is so silly and so random. No, Lollipop, 21 Pilots. I better go listen. I am like you, Lollipop. I like to listen to anything that makes me feel good. So, yeah. Somebody once advised me, you better be listening to the words you are listening to. Okay? Because sometimes, what is this song? This guy's song, talking about songs. I was... do you realize I was, oh, what is this guy's name? I cannot, is it Chakademus or something? Maxine. Who's heard that song? Maxine by, is it Chakademus or somebody like that? If you know that song, put your hand up in the chat. Let's hear you. Okay. Oh yes, Lollipop. I like Lose Control. I like the duet with Kelly Clarkson. There's an a cappella duet version of that song with Kelly Clarkson. And oh, when I hear the harmony of them singing that song, oh, it's good, right? You haven't heard Maxine. You go Google. Is it Chakademus? I can't remember. But the song is about a lady called Maxine, and I was so old before I knew that, oh, nobody should be listening to that song. If that song was made in this day and this era, the singer will probably be cancelled. But if you listen to the song, you probably wouldn't hear what he's saying, because it's in it's a Jamaican rap, or some of the island. This is not anything I know. I just know that the song is not something you can hear properly, so you almost have to look the lyrics up, and the lyrics are really telling. But that's enough about music and the fun we are having about it today. Where is Tapita? Tapita, where are you? You know what? I did think about grabbing the chair, you know, but then if I grab the chair and sit down, it will be 6 hours, and I ain't got 6 hours for you, Tapita. I wanted to go grab a chair and come and sit down, but I... Oh, God. Well, we still need to cut the cake. So, whilst we're talking and having fun today, the idea is to kind of cut this cake. And cutting a cake takes a bit of intention. Let's leave the music and the random conversation a little bit and come back to the cake we are discussing here. We'll go back to the music in a moment. Not that I know anything about music, but how to cut a cake properly to get the best servings out of it. Cutting a cake takes intention, because even when the cake is served at birthdays, you don't just want to pick a knife to it and start chopping. You have to think about what you want to get out of the cake, and perhaps think about how to get the best in terms of servings as well. So for a cake like this, normally you would find it has structures in it. And just a note here, if you're a cake maker and you're handing a cake over, your cake care note should have information about what the cake is made of, just generalized information about what is in the cake and how to tackle taking the cake apart. Just some guidance. What that will do is it will inform the customer over what to expect and how to get around it. I have a cake care card that have like a summary instruction on things you should look out for. And normally when people come and pick their cake, even though the information is written on a sheet and attached to the box on collection, I still try to talk to them, engage them, and remind them of the things that are important. Key being, you know, sometimes on social media when we've come across cakes where someone is shoving another person's face into the cake, please do not do that. It may seem slightly unintentional and something fun to do, but sometimes cakes are built with structures in. You can have dowels to barbecue skewers to rods in it, and by so doing you may indeliberately hurt a loved one so badly. So that is something to think about for those of you who like to play with your food like that. That said, if a customer collected a cake from me and there were structures in it, I'll be quick to let them know that there are structures in the cake, even though this is noted on the cake care sheet for them. Because my cakes are completed in ganache, even if it's a fondant cake, sometimes it has a ganache barrier before the fondant. I tell customers how to take the cake apart and also how to get the best out of it. As you can see, I completed this cake. It was hand modeled, and the outside here is actually ganache. And the ganache with the cake sitting out has set. The good thing about ganache is ganache doesn't crust like buttercream, but it can set solid. The ratio we had here has eventually led to the ganache setting so hard on the cake. So if you put a blunt knife to this, you are just going to crumble the cake down, right? Even with the layers coming down. And if you had structures in the cake, you want to make sure you take the structures apart before. There's a way to do that. So for this cake, thankfully we don't have structures, but we do have a straw dowel in the middle into which these flowers are inserted. So first of all, to kind of cut this cake, we want to sort of try and take this flowers apart. The good thing is, when I demonstrated this in the tutorial, the making of the cake, I employed super beginner friendly ways to achieve the look of the cake, which means taking it apart isn't going to be that hard, because if the means you employ to design the cake may lend to how the cake can be taken apart. So for that, we tied the flowers together and then pinned them into a dowel. So see, it has come out so easily. That's all. So there you go. So the bouquet, when I tell you the cake, the flowers went in the cake, there you go, right? So we've taken that out. And now we have the cake itself over here. Before we cut into the cake, let's see what is happening in the chat, if I'm missing anything in there. Could I reuse the flowers? Tapita is asking in the chat. Yes, I can reuse the flowers. It's yeah, you can always reuse flowers. Of course, not flowers that go out to customers. Those end up being discarded. And yeah, for this, the way I preserved it, the way I preserved the flowers, the fondant part here. So yeah, these flowers are going to be reused. And if I took there you have it. So yes, I am definitely going to be reusing the flowers. Yes, lollipop, yes, you can actually cover the stem also completely. You can dip. So there are so many beginner friendly ways to make flowers very food safe. So if you don't want to put the flowers in a straw, which serves as a barrier between the cake and the flowers. You can wrap the stem of the flowers and dip it in white chocolate, melted white chocolate, and then it will set, and then you can put it in the cake. For that, the white chocolate might end up breaking if you're taking out the flowers, but it's still white chocolate, so it's a good barrier. And then if it even disappears into the cake, the customer can still eat it and it's still safe. I think in the past there have been recommendations about a product called Food Safe. It's like a sort of something safety seal, and it's a sort of wax that you dip the flowers in. It was developed to help cake makers, but turns out, don't quote me on this, but some caking groups, some people who were very particular came out with some information noting that this particular thing wasn't tested as food safe. And whilst it may still be okay to use, the idea of introducing wax into a cake is something that I am not so keen about. So the means I employ to create this floral cake is just so simplistic to give you some ideas, but there are so many ways you can use, beginner friendly ways to get flowers onto a cake safely for use. Okay. Oh, Tapeta had a cake smashed into her face at a wedding. I'm not a fan of that as well. Even as a cake maker, it's really annoying. But that said, now that's all our cake sitting here. This is all cake with a ganache here. So if you were a customer who bought this cake, and we did price this cake as around the £300 mark. So you think, oh, after taking the flowers, that's what you've got for £300. Well, that's what you pay for skill. But that said, if you're going to cut a cake, have a plan. People normally like to have a butter knife, I think, especially when you don't have access to anything and haven't been best advised. A butter knife, if I put a butter knife through this, it is just going to put pressure on the cake layers, and then it will crumble along. And the blunt the cutting object is, it will end up having cake stuck on it, so you will be leaving the cake with so much cake extras on the blunt thing, and then you don't know what to do. And other people go back and use the same knife with everything on it to cut, and then by so doing you end up crushing the cake. So a good way to cut your cake after you've taken the decorative element is to assess how you want to cut the cake. There are cutting guides and cutting recommendations. If for a cake like this, it probably won't make sense to want to cut it into the pie shape. So for this, you probably just you need a sharp knife. And in my hand, I have the sharp knife and I have a tall cup of water. And what I've done is I've just dipped my blade in the water to keep it warm. Okay, the warm blade will cut straight into the cake and help me get the best sizes out of it. Probably if you're not a cake connoisseur, you want to just put the knife in and start cutting, but it might help to kind of gauge how you want to section this cake up, right? So this is fairly a small cake. It was a 7-inch that was carved into 5, if you like the jar. So for this, you want to probably consider 4 sections realistically. I think we have 1 here, 2, 3. So there are 4 sections here, and I think that is fair. So if I put the knife in here and start cutting, it's going straight down. Because my knife is very sharp, it has gone all the way down, but it hasn't broke the cake. So I am going to try that again. I'm scared at what I will see. Right. And that is where. Okay, there you go. So I have almost cut the cake. Look. right? So almost a third of the cake is cut, and this is the cross section of what we have in here, right? That is fun, isn't it? It's a good cake. Okay, so now that we've cut this part, let's look at the part that has been cut. This is what that part looks like. Yeah? So this is almost like 6 layers of cake, but we've ended up with 5 solid layers. So look at this part. Now, I do realize that you may not always get the luxury to cut a cake and hold it this solidly, because I'm cutting this cake in my kitchen. So I have the advantage of all the things I need, like warm water and everything else that will make the cutting process convenient for me. But it also is important to make the effort and to think about that. So for that, I am going to cut this on the back, because we have such a big section here. Now, I should say there are 7 recommendations for how to get a cake cut, but there's no rhyme or there's no exact rhyme or reason how to cut a cake. If you're cutting a cake, you want to think about how to get the best servings out of it, most importantly. So for me, with how the cake is molded, I am just looking to get the most servings, just so that if people want more, they can ask for it, if that makes sense. And that is simply because of the shape of the cake, and nothing to do with the size. So that's like small bits here. So for this small bit, if you went to a birthday party and you were served a cake this size, would you be pleased? I don't think so. But I'm just going to arrange that. And for this small bit alone, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We have 15 here. So let's say if even you were serving 2 per person, which is sizable, that will make, let's say realistically, is it 7 servings over there? But that is neither here nor there. Let's just get these out of the way. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back. And with the sharp warm knife still in there, we are cutting this down. Okay, right. Cutting cake is actually a chore, isn't it? I hate cutting cakes. Right. Okay. Okay. Okay, there you go. There. This is giving me another 9 servings over here. So we had 15 small slices over there, and we have this to cut again. So this size is almost the same as the first size that we had 15 from. So let me just clear. We have 9 servings here, and this time, look, we've been able to get a big one like that. I'm putting them on a tray. I'll show you what the tray looks like in a moment. Right. Tapita. Is it me? What you Lollipop? Are you asking? Is it me? Am I missing something in the chat? Let's see. Right. Let's see if we'll get the same 15. Oh God. Okay. Let's see. Just want to see how many servings we'll get from this. Okay. This is actually big servings. Okay. 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 So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 15 servings. So 15 plus 15, that was 30 servings plus 9. That's about 39 servings. So round it up, it will, the guesstimate of a minimum of 28 to a little over 30 is correct. Because even though we have the 39 servings, it's not exact because of some bits being small. So if you think about it, people are going to sometimes have double. For instance, if you look at this size, that differs so much from this size because of the positioning of the cake. So realistically, remember when we made the cake and we were pricing it, I said the serving is about 25 to 30. I was right, because I like to kind of leave room to accommodate the smaller servings, just so that a bit can go around. So cake slices are not always exact, especially if you're dealing with sculpted cakes. You want to leave room for adjustment. So my sculpted cakes, perhaps say if you were ordering a cake to serve 20, I will end up sculpting a cake that will stretch up to 30 for you, because sculpted cakes are on the pricier side anyway because of the scale. So the additional servings doesn't actually affect the price in a negative way, if that kind of makes sense. So for this 39 servings, so if I was quoting for this cake, my minimum serving will be about 28 and maximum will be about 30 plus, say 32. So anything between 28 and 32. But of course, as we can see, we had additional servings and we came up to 39 servings here. So if you think about it, priced at exactly £300 with a starting price of 220, I think the starting price, it's not so bad for how much we came up to, because for 30 servings, it's almost like £10 per slice. If you come to think about it, if you're asking me to make you a custom cake that is made with your preferences and everything else, think about custom dessert options and how much do you pay for your dessert at your local shop. So not bad. I finally got to cut the cake I didn't want to let go of, and I decided to take the scrap cake, make a beautiful floral cake out of it. And here we are. So finally the cake is going to be binned, and then we'll be back doing another cake of some sort. Do you know what I mean? So I'm still excited nonetheless to make some beginner friendly cakes. I see in the chat Tapita wants to make a 3-leaf clover cake. Do you, Tapita? For is it a 3-leaf clover cake for St. Patrick's Day? So, Tapita, you were the one who was out here pricing the cake for, is it $80? Is it $100? Is it, when we were discussing the cake prices, Tapita? So you see, it really, 4-leaf clover cake for Easter. So yeah, it can be a little bit tricky with pricing, but the pricing tip I gave you last time was, if you do struggle with pricing your cake because you can't conceptualize or visualize the value, just think about it in servings and how much you will serve a slice of cake. There's someone in the chat who says Can I say the word? I don't know what word it is, okay? I don't know what word it is. I can't pronounce it. I am sorry. But welcome to the chat, and I hope you find some value whilst you're here. Lollipop, were you saying something that I should put stitch the images together in video form? I think I missed that. No, I can't, right? I am sorry. I can't say the word. I can't pronounce it. Why does it matter, by the way? Oh, okay. That was Tapita. Okay, okay. Right. So, yeah, I missed that in the chat. So, I would be mad if I went to a birthday party and someone had this cake and I was stuck with this. Look at the difference in sizes. Look at this one and that one. I would be so mad if I had that. Okay? That said, yeah, Valentine's Day is here. Those of you who are enjoying Valentine, what are you doing for fun today? Those of you who are going on dates and doing exciting stuff. I'm still stood here at 3 o'clock. Lollipop, it's school run, isn't it? I'm just looking at the time like it's going to be school run in a minute. I better go running, okay? So we've cut up our cake. Our bouquet is still here. I'm not going to be able to do anything with that for now until I decide. We're not taking it apart. We know it has servings and my hand is a mess. Oh, okay. Tabitha. I dare to say that is the most un-Valentine thing to do, isn't it? But yeah, it goes to also show you are a mom all year through, whether it's Valentine, it's a rainy day, it's Christmas Day, or you are even poorly. You can't even catch a break, my dear. So yeah, Leah, yeah, Leah forever. Yeah, you know what, we make cakes over here, but the week has been busy and we've been doing some serious decorating, which is this cupcake bouquet. The cake you see here was a flower cake and we took it apart, but we thought we will catch up a little bit. We've been talking about our choice of music, the things we enjoy, what's on our playlist. But I'm looking at the time and it's like it's going to be school run in a minute. So I better go, okay? I would stand here and talk to you guys forever, but there is school run for me. Ooh, Lollipop. Us mamas never get a... Oh, myopia. Oh, 250. Oh, my dear. You know what? You are the MVP. Okay? But then again, if it's your kid, you don't look at the money. You look at the thing, the difference it will make to their side. So, yeah. Good for you, Lollipop. Tapeta, us mamas never get a break. My dear, you're telling me. Okay? We never get it. We never catch a break. You're like, oh, being a mom. We were talking about the milk yesterday. Remember? Them boys who just raid the milk and drink all your milk and don't even tell you the milk is finished. God, look at me kissing my teeth like you did something to me. Oh dear. It's been fun hanging out with you, but I've got to go wash my hands and get off and do the school run. I know I was supposed, you know what? It's a bonus episode today, so let's have fun. Lollipop, it's great to have you back today. You were missed over the last 2 days, but I think, was it yesterday or the day before, there was Jackie. Jackie was back, so we had such a good time. We had such a good time and I kept going. I'm like, where is Lollipop? Like, I literally thought when I say where is Lollipop long enough, you were going to pop up. Seriously. And I was like, where is Lollipop? And I think, was it yesterday or at some point, Tapeta went in the chat and it's like, is Lollipop here? Right, good people. It's always fun being here, but I've got the school run to do and I've got to run. This mess won't clear themselves. Look up, let me not overhype it, but I am behind on editing, people, so hopefully there should be a video out on the weekend. If not, I'll see you on Tuesday, and we're back on the live. Look out on the community post and choose what you might want us to do next. I'm thinking about a football cake. I have struggled with a football cake forever, so it will be good to come and start it, because Valentine is over and we've got to go back to regular tutorials, and then we'll be prepping for Easter and St. Patrick's. So leave your suggestions in the community post when you see the most recent. Just leave your suggestions over there, and then yeah, we should be back next week doing a beginner friendly tutorial, taking a cake apart, putting it back together, and trying something new just to inspire you so you can undertake your own baking and decorating. It's fun being here always. I am sure I will see you soon. Last question over there. Lollipop. Yep. Tapeta. I always... well, have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.